Day morning. Rich Eisen, Steve Mariucci, and Michael Irvin, all of us here in studio as Drew Brees is coming back from multiple rib injuries, fractures. Actually, the first report came out about how many ribs he broke. Made me look up how many ribs a human being actually has. Now, a month later, he's back. And Taysom Hill did very well in his place, winning 3 of 4 games that he started in place of Brees. And you can see the numbers, obviously. Brees with better passing numbers, as you'd expect. The guy has every single passing record you can think of coming into this game. So Kurt Warner,
how many
they make them
ribs
right.
do we have, Rich?
I don't know. I forgot.
Research.
Oh, okay.
It's like 20 some odd. I think he broke half of them. It's true.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, but I've got to be honest with you. That was, you know, the science questions. I know I'm dating myself by bringing up Trivial Pursuit. I always whiffed on those. I was better at sports than entertainment. But this is not why people tune into NFL Game Day morning. Kurt, are the Saints making the right decision today based on your knowledge of rib injuries and coming back and being 40, all sorts of stuff? Kurt, take it away.
Well, you know, for me, guys, is that, you know, we hear about, as you're talking about, Rich, all the ribs that were broken. And in my mind, I think to myself, well, there's no way he can be healthy this quickly with all the injuries that he had. But that, to me, becomes the real caveat here, is that you heard this week them say he's healthy. And if he is fully healthy, then yes, he belongs as the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. It is that simple. Every player will tell you, as soon as I'm healthy, fully healthy, can't re-injure myself based on what the doctors say, I am back out there the next day. And I believe that's what the Saints are saying. They believe he's healthy. So yes, right when he gets healthy, Mooch, he is inserted back as the starter for the New Orleans Saints, and they want to get on a run here before the playoffs.
Yeah, a couple of boxes have to be checked. First, does Drew Brees feel well enough to throw without pain, maybe take some hits with a flak jacket? Quarterbacks wear a jacket. People, there are 24 ribs in the human body, okay? He only broke 11 of them. That's not even half, all right? Play ball.
I told you, I'm not good at math.
You know, if they weren't healed and if he didn't feel well and if the doctors didn't approve him and sign off on this, he wouldn't be playing. And the punctured lung is healed, too, evidently. It's the Saints' best chance to win also, right? This could be his last year. These guys are the #2 seed. Play ball. I mean, Michael Thomas is not playing. This would, if Drew Brees didn't play, this would be like the Packers not playing Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. I mean, what kind of chance do you have to win? So he feels well enough. They think he can go and play well. Play ball.
But let me give you the importance of it when you walk in that locker room and understand that how all this transpired, because you heard the report. Hey, Drew Brees was working out. He called Sean and said, hey, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Dude, you got to understand, and Drew Brees more than anybody, and that's what's great about him, he owes something to his teammates. He see his guys out there battling, trying to make sure they get to ultimate prize. The reality is they don't want to lose. They want to try to hold on to home field advantage. Green Bay, that game last night, nobody said anything about it. Aaron Jones outrushed, had more yards running than Aaron Rodgers had throwing because something with that cold weather. Those other teams don't want to go to Green Bay. So he's like, I got to try to get back now. I owe this to my guys. I want to compete against Patrick Mahomes. I want to be out there and have that battle against him. So yes, he's supposed to be out there. This will lift the whole team to see the commitment he's had. This man is set for life. He don't have to risk anything, but he's doing it for his football team. That's the big part that everybody has to catch.
Well, that is the big part, Irv, but the reality is also that you can feel great when you're out in your backyard or you're in the stadium throwing a football. It's different when somebody's landing on you and you're taking those hits, and that's something that you can't prepare for because here's the big thing. He's going to give a lift to this team, but you also look at the opposite. If he's rushed back and he comes back too early and he injures this again, how that's going to deflate this team that was riding so high and feeling so good as they were entering the playoffs.
And you'll see this when, I guarantee you, watch the protection of Drew Brees today. Watch that offensive line. Watch the protection. That's what I'm talking about, the commitment they'll make back to him. Just watch it. I guarantee it.
And while we're keeping it real, Steve, did you ask NFL Network researcher Ben McWilliams how many ribs there are in a human body? Did you ask that question?
No.
Yes. I think that might be the first time, Ben, you've ever looked up WebMD during the live NFL Game Day morning. I think that's probably what just happened. Vikings Saints,
so funny,
Christmas Day, Friday. An actual game played on a Friday, which means every single day of the week we'll have had an NFL game played on it this season. That's a fact. Bucs facing the Falcons today. Brady is 6-0 all-time against Atlanta, including the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history, down 20. You know, I can't even read the copy. You all know what happened. We talk about it all the time. When every game is 28-3, when any game that Atlanta in any sport is down by a lot, we talk about it. Jane Slater, take it away.
And Rich, Tom Brady enjoyed that one after he signed with the Bucs. I asked Falcons QB Matt Ryan, all right, how often do you pop that one in? He says, not very often. Different memory for me. Let's hope that he has a short one following a season-high 3 interceptions last week. Still, his interim head coach, Raheem Morris, says they still have confidence in him. On Brady, he said he's one of the best in the game. He's seen it. And popping in that Super Bowl, putting it on the social platforms. He says when you've got those 6 Super Bowl rings, you've earned it. But he said, I hate him. In fact, he said, I hate him multiple times. I think a lot of Brady's opponents over the years feel the same way, Rich.
Gotcha.
No doubt about it. I mean, Tom Brady in Atlanta is definitely not one of the, I mean, he's kind of a 4-letter word in Atlanta. And it's now time to rubber meeting the road. You know, I know, again, Bruce Arians, he said it on my show a month ago when I asked him, when is Brady going to feel comfortable in the offense? And he said next spring. And he said it with a laugh, but you could hear Kurt laughing in Green Bay, right? I mean, it's now time, right? They've got 3 games to go. It's an indoor game. It is a division game, but Brady has success against this team from outside the division. Now he's in it. So, Steve, is it time? Is there going to be now rubber meeting the road and some traction for the Buccaneers here on out, do you think?
You know, it is going to be a work in progress, being a new quarterback and all that new team stuff. But they have enough weapons. They have enough pieces in place on this football team on both sides of the ball to go to the Super Bowl and maybe win it, all right? The problem is, you know, Gronk came back and he started slow. Now he's getting his stride, 5 touchdown passes. You know, they've been inconsistent. That's the problem. They're good enough on defense. They're terrific on defense at times.
Yes.
But then at times, they give up a lot of yards rushing to the Vikings.
This is a yes or no question that's on the screen.
The answer is yes, but you know what? They have they have to be more consistent. Kurt Warner said that earlier. Put it all together, because they're leaking oil. Every game there's like, geez, I wish it got better than that. But they're good enough if they put it all together, Irv.
Yeah, and I think so too. And the good part is, you know, they'll win out the rest of this season, and what they have to do is just find. They have problems when you can get to Tom Brady. And when I look at these teams that they'll be looking at in the playoffs, the one that can best get to Tom Brady are the Rams, so they have to make sure it maps out perfectly for them to get to the Super Bowl. But I believe Tom and these guys will be ready by the time we get to the playoffs.
So this is a yes or no question, or a yes and no question?
Nice.
I'm going to say yes and no, because they are built talent-wise, and as Mooch said, we've seen it at times this year. But they haven't won consecutive games since Week 8 this season, and that just speaks to the inconsistency. I could see them go on a run, win 3 games in the playoffs. I could see them get knocked out in Game 1 if they get a bad matchup or they don't bring their A game. So I'm just not convinced either way on what we're going to get from this football team come playoff time.
When you say yes and no, is that a fence, or if you just say I'm on the fence?
That is a definite fence.
So that's what you're saying. I'm answering. I say yes and no.
It's like a soup that eats like a meal.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah, soup that eats like a meal.
Kurt does not like any of that stuff. Certainly he can't respond. He's out. He's in remote. We're sitting here in studio. Ian Rappaport, take it away. What's going on?
Rich, Bucs starting running back Ronald Jones is out today against the Falcons. He is on the COVID-19 reserve list, which means Leonard Fournette, the former starter for the Bucs, is now the starter again just 1 week after he was benched for the team not being able to depend on him and too many drops. Now, from my understanding, 2 reasons why Leonard Fournette is starting today. One, they do believe he is the best option, but that's not all. The way he responded to his benching last week told the team a lot. Obviously, he was frustrated. He was upset. He did not make a scene. He did not let it linger. He didn't make it all about himself. Instead, he worked hard at practice on the scout team, a former top 10 pick on the scout team. Then this week, practiced hard, and they believe Fournette is ready to go as the lead back once again.
All right, that is Ian Rappaport with the latest right there. Antonio Gibson, though, not expected to go. He's the big toe of that, if you will, running back.
Oh, my God.
And he's out. That hurt to go, it seems like. Highlights. I love doing highlights, Steve.
Really, let's do some highlights.
You, me, and Dion used to do it every night on Sunday. Aaron Rodgers, everybody. Yep. It was great to see some healthcare workers in the stands there being honored in Green Bay. That's a record breaker. That's a third season with 40 touchdown passes. Nobody's ever done that before. Threw one to his tight end. Robert started the season as Tanya. Now he's Tunyon. Rhymes with Funyun, Steve.
Okay, Funyun. Yep. Get some touchdowns. You can change that name. Get the French version.
Runs it in. Aaron, now don't touch me. I've crossed the line. Nobody hit me. I've got a belt on. Everybody back off. And now Aaron Jones skips in. Interesting, Irv. Nobody wants to play in Green Bay, right?
Nobody wants to play in Green Bay.
Too cold. Masked up and ready to go.
And they can win that way. And
the Packers are the 1 seed regardless of what happens the rest of the week entering Week 16. Now, look at this, Matt LaFleur. In terms of winning your first 30 games, head coach at least.